Okay, so now that we've gone through the METAR and the TAF for today, we can go and look at what our winds are going to look like at about 3,000 feet to 6,000 feet, which is typically where we're going to be doing maneuvers. And so to do that, we'll go to forecasts and winds temp, and we'll have this really funky looking map. And so if we zoom in on BNA, usually only big airports will have these winds aloft, and luckily enough, we're really close to national international, so we get to use those. And then this is going to be the level that we're at. So this is in flight level. So level 3 is 3,000 feet. And then we have our validity time. So we can go back to right now, which is going to be 18 Zulu. And then we've got at 3,000 feet. So what this is showing us is we have a wind coming from the south, probably like 19 or 8 is what I think the chart's going to say, and we'll look at that in just a second, at about 25 knots. So each of these long lines is 10 knots, and then the little dash line is 5. And then if there's a red line after a dash line, that's a gust factor. So as you can see at the bottom, it has like a 25 gust 30 knot in the key. So this is super high, or super cool. I don't really like this map. It's really interactive, which is cool, but it's not my favorite. So what I like to do is I like to go to the data. And so what the heck do all of these numbers mean? Well, I'm going to show you. And so if we're looking at Nashville, we want to actually go, you'd think it'd be under Chicago, but it's not. We want to go South Central. And this is what we're looking at right now. And we can see BNA is right there. And I have a screenshot of this that we can draw on and look at a little bit closer. Let me find it for us. San Diego, BNA, here we go. This is a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and edit this like we did the TAF. And so what we're looking like right now, so let me block out, or I'll highlight BNA so we know where we're looking. So this is BNA, that's what we want. And we've got different altitudes. So we've got 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, and all the way up. And this is also the chart that we'll use when we're calculating our ground speed and fun stuff like that when we get to planning cross countries later. And so we'll start from the top with dissecting this chart. So we've got our data is based on 18th day of the month. 1200 Zulu is our forecast time. This is valid from 1818 Zulu, or 18th day of the month at 1800 Zulu, for use between 1400 Zulu and 2100 Zulu. Temperatures above flight level 240 are negative. And so if we go to 240, and we've got this negative number in front of it, that means it's at negative 23. And then at flight level 30, the negative just drops off. They're like, it's going to be negative, so we don't have to put that. And so what we have here at BNA is similar to how METAR and TAFs are constructed, but we only have 2-digit identifiers for the winds. So we've got winds, don't want to do that one. We have got winds at 200 at 23 knots. And then flight level 3 at 3,000 feet, we don't have a temperature at that level. They just assume it's going to be similar to what it is on the ground because you're still not going to be that high up. And then all of our degrees in our TAF, our METAR, and our winds aloft are given in in true north. So not magnetic north, but true north. And so if we go on to the next one, we've got 250 is where our winds are coming from, 29 knots, and 17 degrees Celsius is what our temperature is looking like up there. And so there's some funky things that can happen with winds aloft. And so if we go up to MSY, which I want to say is New Orleans, but let me double check where that is. Yeah, it's New Orleans. So if we go and look at what's going on in New Orleans at 9,000 feet, we can see that we've got like 9900. What does that even mean? Well, what it means is, let me do green for this too. What this 9900 means is that winds are light and variable. And so the winds can be blowing from any direction under 5 knots. So that's anything less than 5 knots is going to be that 9900. All right, and so there's a couple other funky things that can happen with winds aloft. So if we hit done on here and then done on here, I pulled some. This is Memphis. Here's where we're going. So these are the winds aloft for today over on the West Coast. We have something happening over here at Portland. And so the one that we're looking at is this guy. We've got 770841. What the heck does that mean? This is supposed to be a magnetic direction. You can't have anything over 360 for our setting. That's all totally true. But what happens is if the winds are blowing higher than 99 knots, they have to have a way of reporting that. And so what they do is they add 50 to the wind direction, and then they subtract 100 from the velocity so that we know that it's over 100 knot wind. And so we've got 77. So we'll take, let's do it up here. We'll do 77 minus 50, which is going to give us 27. So winds are at 270. And then we're going to add 100 to 08. So we've got 100 plus 08, 108. So we've got our wind from 270 blowing at 108 knots, which is pretty substantial. But that's how you decode winds aloft. It's pretty simple once you kind of get the hang of it. And like I said, this is the same exact chart that we'll be using when you do your cross country. And it's a good way to see what we're kind of getting into when we're doing maneuvers at 3,000 or 6,000 feet.